afternoon
Well,
and
good
welcome.
afternoon.
Well, you have Cagney and Lacey, you have Rizzoli and Isles, and you have Cynthia and Jody. And Jody. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
I don't know who any of those other people are. I thought you were gonna
Uh,
be like 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 something from
the
um
21st century.
yeah, something more, but I
Uh,
guess there's not a lot of famous duos, so we'll take over for the 21st century. That's fine. And yeah, we're late sometimes
Sonny and
because we're
Cher.
human. We're human people just
Well, I
trying to.
thought about leather and lace. We could be leather and lace.
Oh, you know how
I,
I am with alliteration and opposites. I was
okay.
about to name my company Vice and Virtue, but it was taken by a like a furniture company, and so I couldn't take it. And I was like, "Why? What kind of sexy ass furniture are you selling?" Because like my clothing line would have been great. I don't know what kind of furniture you got, but I went with Blacktop and Brewer, so it's fine.
Well, we're certainly appreciating Cynthia Brewer and Blacktop and Brewer. And for those of you who are just tuning in, my name is Jody James, and this is Cynthia Brewer, and you have entered Elevated Intel. Thanks for
You
joining us tonight. I
you
know.
and you are all up in
Uh,
it.
I'm in it now. We're in it to win it. Good afternoon, Cynthia. It's good to have you back on this Friday afternoon.
I see that the brown is still there.
I'm Brown. I am Brown.
You're in
This
Tallahassee.
this was the completion of week two of our Ambassadors Week. And it's funny because while we were talking about it being Ambassadors Week, and that sounds all cool,
It does.
like you're going to get a sash, right? And
Yeah.
get to go fun places, maybe get a crown. Somebody's going to
Maybe
drive you
diplomatic
around.
immunity if you wanted to,
Sure.
yeah, something like that.
Ambassadors get.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all. It's more like prison boot camp, but whatever. It's been hard. It's really been hard for folks but totally rewarding. So that I'm still in Tallahassee next week, back home.
Okay.
So that would be better. I'm happy to go home. I'm getting a little homesick now. I've been gone for 2 weeks and
I
ready
bet
to
your
get back.
husband misses you and your family.
He does. The dogs miss me probably more than he does because he gets to talk to me, right? And I can't pet them remotely.
And if you
So,
do a FaceTime with them, it blows their mind and it's not healthy. I've done
no.
that before. Yeah.
Because then they like, but you
Yeah.
should be here and I can't smell you. So that's all
Right.
weird. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty good week. We are very excited about how things have been going here at the Capitol.
Good.
Uh, well, before we get into that, though, I think you have a fact for us. Do you
I
have a
have
fact
a
for?
fact teaser if that's what you're looking for.
I
So
am looking for a teaser.
I want anyone who's listening to be able to weigh in on their opinion of what the answer could be. And then at the end of the show, like normal, I will tell you what the truth is. So
All right.
I will give you your hint. It is what disaster used cannabis to save the day? That's all you get. If you want to Google it and be like that, that's fine, but you're not going to win any brownie points if you get the right answer. Now, and last week, Josephine got the right answer,
She
and
did.
that one was great. And
And
I'm
she's
happy.
on a trip to Italy. So
Oh,
Josephine is in Italy. So, she's a winner and she's in Italy. I just don't take anything. We're not giving you a
what
trip
else
to
does
Italy
she want?
if you
She gets to
win.
go traveling. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
We're
jealous
not there.
mostly.
You won't get that kind of prize, but good things happen
Yes,
to
they
folks who
do.
hang out with Florida Cannabis Action Network. That's my story.
So true.
So the question is what
What
natural
disaster?
natural or man-made?
I'm not going to get into that because I feel like that's a
Okay.
little, well, I technically both-ish.
Disaster.
I'm going to say both-ish.
All
I'm going to go
right.
with
Well, I
both-ish.
can't wait till the end when you tell me
But
the answer.
cannabis saved the day, kind of. Yeah, that's a non-committal. And you just give me the answer and put it in the comments, and Steve will let us know what your
Okay.
guesses are. Don't Google it and be like that. And
Okay.
I'll tell you at the end of the episode.
There you go.
But we have, oh, go
Special
ahead, you go
thanks
first.
to Steve. No, I really did because for folks who did not sit in with Steve and I and Benny Blanchard on Monday night for the Supreme Court discussion, go back and watch it. It'll be available on Facebook for another week or two. As soon as Steve has time, he'll get it moved to our YouTube channel. It was an amazing discussion about where we're at right now and really informed a lot of the week that we had this week in Tallahassee. So, but
it was a good educational episode. I didn't
did you
realize
see
how
it?
dumb I was until you listen to some of the words that your mouth doesn't pronounce. So, but Benny is full of information. He's really good representation of the third branch of FLCAN, which mimics the judiciary, which I also can barely say. But yeah, it was kind of nice to have like a little like learning sesh.
I was so amused when you said exercising your rights is the only exercise you do. And it
Yes.
looks so good on you. Yeah, I mean,
Well, you kept saying Cynthia's not here, and I was like, I'm here. And then Tara from that was on last week with us, the Grateful Veteran. Tara was like, Cynthia is here, and I'm like, I'm real, and nobody was responding, and so eventually,
why you were a real doll that day,
yeah,
but
exactly.
whatever.
But I listened, I tuned in. It was great information. It was great hosting. You and Steve did amazing. Steve asked good questions, and
Good.
you had good comments. And then I think Benny did great. So
Benny did great. We were really, really happy to have put that together. And again, so much of what we do ties in together as Florida Cannabis Action Network. For those of you who may be new to Florida Cannabis Action Network, we are a membership-based organization, and you can be a member and join us for these exciting things that we do. $5 a month or $50 a year. It's stupid, stupid cheap.
yeah,
So
we should raise our prices. I mean,
and there you have it.
yeah,
So now's a good time to join because Cynthia is raising the prices. I caught that already.
I think I think yeah, 100% great time to join. Now, for those who don't know what this week, Ambassador Week was, what area of Florida was represented in Tallahassee for week 2?
Fabulous representation from kind of the greater Jacksonville area.
Okay.
So that's Duval County, Clay County, and Nassau County.
Yep.
And we really had a ball. These men and women who came in were fantastic. We actually have a couple of them with us here today. If you guys want to bring your cameras on, and we'll introduce you guys.
Look at all these people show up.
So we have Sir and Lady Alex Johnson. You can figure out who's who on that one. And Jennifer Dean joining us from Jacksonville. Now, we've known the Alex and Alex for more than a minute now. They've been with us at least the last 3 Cannabis at the Capitol. And this year, Lady Alex, joined our leadership team. We get together at least once a week, some weeks 12 times a week, but at least once a week to make sure that we have the resources that we need to get things done. The Alexes are doing 2 fabulous events each month in Jacksonville, high society meetings, which I'm a little jealous that she came up with the name first, but just a little. And they're also putting out their own podcast, so they'll tell us a little bit more about that. Jennifer came as part of Team Jacksonville. She works in the insurance industry, and so she knew that there was things going on. So I'll let you ask some questions because I got to know all these folks really well this week.
Well, it's time to make people uncomfortable. So, Jennifer, I bet you didn't know that I've got a bunch of photos of you on my phone because
Oh.
whenever you're on the Florida channel, and I always watch. So, if you can see, and you probably can't see it that well, but this is Jody and this is Jennifer, and I've got photos after photos after photos because I took photos of my computer screen because I felt like you guys were celebrities on TV. And I said, you look like like the devil on the shoulder of the director, and Jody was the angel or vice versa, depending. And and you guys had perfect seating placement to be on camera the whole time. You did very well for exposure, and your shirts looked great. And the fact you were matching looked like a little cult. So
It was
was
that.
attending the meeting. So I just wanted to say I would thought you were just stunning, and you both looked great in your blazers. And when Jody realized she was on film, she started smiling more. But I just wanted to make you feel
Thanks for
uncomfortable
the
and let
heads
you
up.
know you're all up on my phone.
Oh,
Well, the day
appreciate that.
before,
Not in
the
a
day
weird way.
before the day before we had showed them on camera sleeping. So we all decided, just kind of nodding off. Not
Oh
all
no,
of these hearings are exciting.
they're not.
No, they're
I
they're
make
not.
bad faces, so I usually have to sit off camera because I'll be like, "What the hell is she talking about?" And so they get it right there in the shot, and I'm like, "Oh man!" My mom would take pictures, and she'd be like, "Cynthia, look at this. Look at all these. Like you have to smile more." But and a nod to Alex and Alex. Whenever I see your events on Facebook that people post, it's like a little rave party. Like there's music, there's lights, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm like, I thought it was just a get together. I didn't know it was like an event, but it seems to be very well received and very popular, especially among the FLCAN members. So, can you tell us a little bit about your events that you guys do up there?
Yeah, so it takes place at a local kava bar, Kava and Co. So we're not the only, it's our groups out there. They also have a pool tournament on Tuesday nights. They have ping pong out there, lots of music. So there's always a lot going on at this location too, which just makes it a great spot. We've been really well received there.
That one's been going on for over a year too. So it's had quite a bit of time to build up. Whereas the Clay County one, we just had our second event for that.
How'd it go?
Was that last night?
Yes,
Yes,
it went
ma'am.
well. We had about 9 people total. We played some games, smoked and had a good
I
time.
lost at Uno pretty quickly.
How, you know what? It's okay. That's all right. That's a thing. Losing at Uno.
Happens.
It's okay. So tell us about the podcast that you're starting. Obviously, Jody and I are very big fans of the podcasting in the cannabis space. So what are you calling it? Is it something clever?
It's called Cannabis Compass. Yeah, and so we're doing interviews with people in the industry, and then we also do like strain and product reviews, and then
Ooh.
some guided meditations, like 5 to 7 minute guided meditations.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say right now, this is a phenomenal idea. Now, one, I love compasses. I have a compass tattoo.
Nice.
I'm always lost. It never points to the right direction, but I just love that part. Second, I like how you're mixing in different industry specific things like reviews of products because that's relevant to the patients, but also the guided meditation, that's going to be unique. I thought it was a good idea to do a Canna podcast mixed with true crime, but then
Love that.
in like the run through, we were just like, oh no, like really high and just saying, oh my God, that sucks. And there was like nothing getting accomplished. So we just scrapped the whole idea. And like we were like, oh, this story about this horrible crime. We're like, oh God, that's yeah. And it was not very well received. So I like that you're doing this like triple threat. Who's your first guest going to be?
No, they've been doing this for a while. It's
I
not a
thought you
new
just
thing.
started. I thought you said you just started.
No, they are also.
So when would you like me to be a guest?
Let's get you signed up. Let's do it.
I don't know how I would help with guided meditation. I feel like I'm a little loud.
Yeah, I don't do that one. That's all her.
Okay.
So we taped. We tried to get you in the car with this when we went up to Jacksonville.
You
might
did try,
recall that.
like you were
did
trying to
try.
abduct me. You
We
had
tried.
candy and snacks. Yeah, you had all the
Children.
favorites.
We did,
Well, it
and
worked
we're
for
going
me.
right past her house to get to Jacksonville. So next time, maybe December,
I was
we'll
like,
see.
show me the candy, then I get in the van. I know the rules, but she drove past my house and I was a lame ass because it was like a Tuesday and it was like a
Thursday,
school night,
Tuesday,
it was
Tuesday. I guess it was a Tuesday.
who knows? It feels like it was so long ago, but I would love to attend again. It looked like it was a great time. People were having a blast. And I know that y'all I'm not sure what it's a wellness clinic. I don't know how to say the name, but it's very unique. How do you say it?
Officinalis.
One more time?
Officinalis.
Officinalis. I saw it online. I tried it a few times before the show, didn't work. So tell us a little bit about that.
So Officinalis is our medical clinic for doing the card evaluations. The name is actually a Latin epithet for naming plants and organisms that have a culinary or a medicinal property to them.
Okay.
So like Salvia officinalis is sage. However, when they were naming cannabis, they left it off, even though all of us know, it's been culinary and medicinal for a very long time.
Right.
So
That's
we
so
just named it
cool.
ourselves.
I
Yeah.
like it. It's very unique. Now, Jennifer, in the insurance space in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, health and wellness, insurance.
It's like
Weird
taking a
seg
really boring thing and a really fun thing, and then like
putting them
putting it.
together.
Yes.
Yeah. I did case management and care coordination for a lot of the major insurance companies. I helped build out the non-clinical programs to help keep people healthier. I saw cannabis a lot in the space. I'm not going to tell you to stop. I'm going to help you do it cost effectively, especially with lower income. And we need people that know how to guide more than ever now, and people that are going to be honest to do the right thing. So some stuff happened in life and it just collided and it just works really well. So
Now
starting that this year, yeah, it's like
in
a
the
little building
insurance,
pot.
right? Well, this is the exciting part, the beginning part. But in the insurance space, traditionally, obviously, cannabis is not covered under insurance, and so you look at insurance coverage for companies and cannabis use of their employees, which is something that with Polsky filing the bill that we talked about last week, that got a lot of attention this week about employee protections for workers, and then also in parental rights. What are your thoughts on where cannabis in Florida will go as it pertains to insurance and coverages for employees?
I'm really on the back end, just in the healthcare space, thinking that it's going to come sooner rather than later.
Okay.
For medical, there's a lot of stuff going on the back end in the health insurance space that a lot of people just really don't know. A lot of changes in FDA rulings about pain control. Pain pumps
True.
are being taken away. Pain medication is being taken more away, and more natural, safer things need to come. So I can see it being very soon here,
Yeah.
coming hopefully like that. And also, I help people learn their benefits to put money back in their pocket so they can spend things like medical marijuana, acupuncture, massage that insurance doesn't cover. So there's a lot of money to be had that people just don't know about.
That's awesome. I mean, as far as like recouping monies that could be used for, I guess, what do you call those acupuncture, medical massage? I used to do medical massage therapy for car accident claims, and I would bill AAA and they would pay me. So I don't know how that worked out, but like, in lieu of narcotic pain medication, she would get a prescription for me. And then I stopped doing that. But like, I see, what do they consider acupuncture and cannabis use in the insurance space? Is that like
they don't
Okay.
they don't really there's not a number or anything for it, but and acupuncture started to get covered, so did massage, unfortunately, with
what
recent
about
health stuff.
Reiki?
So
It's not going to happen.
Dr. Oz's wife does do Reiki in the offices when they do heart surgery. I am a Reiki master practitioner as well.
Are you?
Yes, I am, because when I worked in the hospitals, I would just be able to bring people up with just going into them. And then also I heard some news that the FDA started possibly approving frequency healings for tumors.
Wow.
So
Reiki, Steve has a question about Reiki. And because you are a Reiki master, I am not. I went to school for medical massage, neuromuscular therapy. Tell us what Reiki is.
It's energy medicine healing. It's hands-on energy, being a transmitter to help guide and bring the frequencies to help heal what is in the person that you're working on.
In school, I thought I was being taken advantage of because I was like, just laying there and they were doing it. And I was like, it's not taking, I don't feel anything. And like, they're like, shut up. You have to be quiet. And I was like, yeah, I don't think it works for me. But a lot of people do. There's a very unique person that can be a Reiki master that can really develop their skills. I guess I'm not that person. I need to.
Everybody has different gifts and stuff. I don't work a lot on people. It's a
Yeah.
lot. But when you work and you have the energy, you bring the room up whenever you go. So bubbly energy like you bringing it up, that's a form of Reiki.
Every time I would do, I would work on, so there was medical massage therapy, but it wasn't like candles and light music and everyone's like, "Ooh, this is so." No, I'm wearing scrubs. The lights are bright. I'm manipulating muscle tissue and connective, connection points. And you hate me at the end, like you don't feel good. You're like, it's kind of painful. And so, it was a different side. It wasn't as relaxing and all of that. But at the end of every treatment, I would always just shake my hands. Like literally, I would just finish it up and I'd like shake my hands violently because I feel like that would get all the person's juju off my hands, because you do carry it with you. Even if you don't do energy work, just massage therapy on someone, you'll get what they have. Not sickness, just emotions and feelings and stuff. And you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on in your life, but you got to shake it off.
You're making Alex laugh.
I hope
This
so.
really was.
I hope she didn't
Dog-
spit out her drink.
Our dog was having dreams at the same time, and he's over there just like talking up a storm and moving his legs. And I was trying not to laugh because I didn't want you to think I was laughing at you. But
No, you
Our
can laugh at me,
energy
but
work
I love it
is
when dogs have really aggressive, like they're chasing something. And if you just whisper, like, get him, boy. And it just makes them all. So I really think the cannabis industry and their canines is going to be a calendar that I'm going to start, because Jennifer Macris has her giant dog. Julie, I went and saw her at the office last week with Tallulah. And that Great Dane sat in my lap, which was different. I've got a couple of rescue a-holes that I love. So this is going to happen. I think we can do this,
or
y'all.
cannabis calendar and their dogs.
Canines and
Well,
cannabis
we've
industry.
got to get Jeff's dog in. I did put out a Facebook post about the last 2 weeks and some of the most interesting things that I thought we heard. So like the top 3 things that I thought we heard. So maybe everybody'd like to share those. My number one was, what part of the plant is the endocannabinoid system? That is a true thing. We heard that in week 1 from a lawmaker.
The
Part of
lawmaker
what
taught you?
no, a lawmaker asked us what part of the plant was the endocannabinoid
Oh,
system.
okay. I was like, this is a weird question.
It's weird. Yeah, I thought it was weird too. The second thing that I liked hearing while we were up there the last couple of weeks was probably, can I take a picture with your dog? Because of course
Ooh,
Jeff
Gus
last week
Gus.
had
Yes.
Gus, right? And then this week we heard Republicans love medical marijuana. We want to see patients get their medicine. Yeah, I
Who
had
said
that
that?
expression too.
Which
So this week we
Republican?
Alex Rizzo. He said Alex in Cubano is kind of what was it he said that Alex's are? They're something about
hell
the way
on
they
wheels.
hell on wheels. Alex's are hell on wheels. So we had Alex, and Alex having a conversation with Jennifer and Marcia and I. That was fabulous. But yeah, it was Representative Alex Rizzo, and he said Republicans love medical marijuana, and we want to see patients get their medicine.
Okay.
So
Tell
it was a
Daddy
real
DeSantis
quote.
that's where you guys stand, and that would be
That's
awesome. That'd really be a great job for us. So Alex and Alex,
stand there.
what was your favorite part of the ambassador week representing? Because I know you were ambassador chair, Lady Alex, and so that's a big deal. You're in charge of all of the craziness and making sure everyone's fed appropriately. But what did you get from your ambassador week experience that was unique to you specifically?
It was different going to the Capitol this time and getting to lead and speak in those meetings with the representatives, the aides. I got an opportunity to lead and speak. I got an opportunity to support Marcia as she was leading one as well. So it was really cool to have a little more background this time. I felt like I was able to recall more information when it was asked, things of that nature. So I felt a lot more comfortable this time going in, speaking, and
it gets more and more comfortable, almost too comfortable after a couple of years.
more people were recognizing her too from that she talked to previously. So that was kind of
Yeah,
cool to see.
that was cool to
Starting
recognize
to be
people.
Look
recognized
at you. That's a
from a
big
few
deal.
people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they see hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, you know, they have constituents all over the place that they have to be mindful of. So to be remembered is a big deal. What about you, Alex? What did you like about the time?
I can see year over year there's more people are beginning to be more open to it, at least, even if they
Right.
don't necessarily agree with it yet. They're at least asking more questions, which
That's
is
good
nice, you
though.
know.
Exactly. Yeah, they want to know more.
Yeah.
They're admitting they don't know it and
Yeah.
they would like to know it.
That's good because we are going to touch on that later in the episode as far as the education piece. But Jody and I were talking not too long ago on an episode about Randy Fine and how in 2017 I was in Tallahassee, like just trying my best, pounding the pavement in a set of high heels and then wearing Converse in between to like run faster. But Randy Fine was like not wanting to take a meeting with me. And I was like, I'm your constituent. And he was like, show me on this map where you live. And I was like, there. And he's like, that's a swamp. Like, I was like, okay, well, I just want to talk to you about cannabis. And he's like, I'm not in favor. But now, recently, Randy Fine, you know, pretty much said, now that he's out in Washington, that Biden couldn't find a special pen to sign over everything and that he's urging Trump to do it. And so now he's turned. So I think you're right. A lot of people have kind of either opened up to the idea, turned over to the dark side with us, or are willing to hear your side of it, even if they are strong or strictly opposed. What about you, Jennifer?
Light bearing herbs. It's turning to the light side. We are their better angels. Don't forget.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, Jennifer.
Oh, it's okay. For me, it was a life-changing experience personally
Ooh.
and professionally.
Can we quote you and put you on the website? Okay.
Absolutely, 100%.
Steve, you
Yeah.
got that? Pull that quote, baby.
Yeah.
So what was it that was so life-changing and impactful?
So, career in healthcare, lots of corporate, not a fun experience.
Right.
A lot of tax on your mental health in the career industry. I kind of swore off that I would ever go back into it ever again. So going to the Capitol, it was like really going back into the belly of the beast for me.
I love the way that you describe this. I'm totally there with you. Because I know what that feels like. And I know how intimidating the Capitol can be to someone that has no experience like you have, and they're just going in, but it's still very intimidating.
Yeah. And Alex did a phenomenal job at being a support system because I flipped, you know, PTSD trauma. Like I had a panic attack on the phone before we were leaving. Like I wasn't even sure if I was going to make it. Just, it was a lot.
It is a lot.
Personally, you know, but I went and I am so glad that people kept supporting and pushing and being there and explaining. Jody was phenomenal in the training and helping me understand them and taking away of these, not these big, powerful, crazy people. They're just like us and the energy. And, you know, was really good at tapping into things that meant a lot to me and how I could use that with them. And I didn't expect to talk to any of the politicians at all. That was not the game plan for me or to be comfortable. I went in shaking the first day.
Oh no.
And coming out confidently talking to higher up officials with Sir Alex's encouragement to even be able to talk to people in the Department of Insurance and asking them, please come to our county. We need help. Like, I'm trying to start education. The SHIT could possibly really hit the fan with what's coming, and we want your help. And they listened,
Yeah.
you know, and took my card. So it was really, I'm not afraid of it. They want to hear us now,
They do.
you know, like they want to. I didn't think what did little old me have anything to do or say with these powerful people that they would even care about. And then when I sat for the insurance one, they had a lot that I know that they don't know that they really need to know. We need to get up there. We need to talk about what's important. We need to be the voice.
Is way more valuable than people think. So if you yell and scream from the rooftops how you feel about cannabis reform and policy, and it's all abstract or a hand, an arm's length away, then it's very easy to ignore and to see these people, these lawmakers, legislators, as like above us or bigger than us. But then when you get out there and you realize how short some of them are and how, different they look in person, how they kind of look like the guy that lives next door. So they're completely human. They have nothing that's superhuman. And so they also are not educated on everything everywhere all the time. So when you start mixing different industries like cannabis and insurance, yeah, they're going to need a go-to person that can answer the questions. And God forbid they get put on a committee that hears a cannabis bill. They want to be able to participate and ask questions, but if they don't know what they're talking about, they're going to look dumb. So that's when they call up their Jennifer and say, okay, you're my constituent, I'm on this committee, what do I do? That happened with Debbie Mayfield and I was like, call me if you have any questions about cannabis. I mean, she hasn't called you yet, but I'm hopeful. So if you could give advice to, and this is for all three of you, if you give advice to somebody who was kind of on the fence about attending an ambassador week or even cannabis at the Capitol, which is my favorite, what would you want to tell them as far as advice you could give them to make the most out of their week? Jennifer, you go first.
To go in with as open mind as possible and to try, like I am getting better with my control issues, to just go as much as the flow as you can and find some people that you could feel comfortable with and do it and stick it out, because you don't know what's on the other side. And it's honestly just fear that's holding you back. And it really can be a transformative, mission more than just getting some skill set. For me, it was life-changing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Alex, Lady Alex, what advice would you give someone who wants to know or is on the fence about ambassador weeks?
Yeah, I would say go in, be prepared to go with the flow, that it's not going to be necessarily a rigid kind of set, but be able to be flexible, to be confident in the fact, that we talked about, that they are people too, that they don't have to be scary to talk to. They live in our neck of the woods too, that literally, and just to talk with other people, also hear the perspectives of all the people that you're going with, because even though we're all involved in cannabis, we all have different perspectives that bring us to the table, and there's different viewpoints we may sometimes not realize until we've had those conversations.
Okay, so I like that. Embrace your fellow ambassadors and use their skill set to your advantage, because everyone does have something strong. Mr. Alex or Sir Alex, what would you say to somebody as far as advice goes when they're heading to Tallahassee for the first time?
I mean, if they're wanting change, that's really the best way to help impact it. But I feel like a lot of people would probably be nervous, about just what do I say? How do I talk?
Right.
If they're not used to, interacting like that a lot. And it's something just like anything else, practice makes perfect. So the more you do it, the easier it'll get. Plus, everyone there is always super supportive. So, you might be a little nervous at first, but if you don't worry about dropping the ball, someone will be there to catch it and, help hand it back to you so you can keep going.
Right. Jody's really good at getting people out of their comfort zones, whether they like it or not. She'll drag them kicking and screaming out of that zone. And then you realize that it wasn't as scary. So, well, we appreciate all of the work that you guys did this past week. And Jennifer, I will send you the best photos I've got. I've got some great ones on my phone. And
I can't wait to see them.
I know. I was like, shit. I felt like a little paparazzi in my own home. And Alex, you guys keep holding the fort down. I really want to listen to this podcast and see if I can find a way to meditate my way into like aligning my chakras and stuff, my chakras and shit. So I am really excited. Now, what is the name of the podcast is Cannabis Compass?
Yes.
And when does it air?
So I don't have necessarily a great set schedule.
That's best.
It goes by feel.
Yeah, it goes by feel. It's sometimes we get a couple in a row back to back.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, 3-4 weeks before we get another one up. Just kind of goes with the flow of life right now.
I love that. I wish I could be more like that. I have a lot of structure it keeps me balanced if I stay very organized. But so when the moons align and the chakras and all that stuff, then maybe we could see a podcast episode come out, and I can't wait. I'll go looking for it. So we appreciate everything you did.
Where should we be looking for Cannabis
It's
Compass?
on YouTube under Wildflower THC.
Okay. We
Very
will,
good.
Steve, if you could link that for us in the chat for our listeners, that would be awesome. Alex, and Jennifer, thank you so much for all the work you did out in Tallahassee and for making everyone that listens to our show a little bit more comfortable with the experience of being an ambassador. And great job. Like, way to kill it week 2.
Week 2 was fabulous. Well, and they're wearing
Week 1 had a
shirts I
dog.
see.
Week 2 had a
Yeah.
lot to live up to, and they nailed it.
We did energy work. We really did do a lot of energy work. We talked about it ourselves, about how if you're, sending positive energy to the people that you're talking to, they're going to feel more buoyant when they're talking to you. They're going to want to talk to you again.
And it's like-minded people. So like Jennifer with her experiences, and then Alex and Alex with their experience, it's almost like every week seems to have a theme. Week 1, veterans and dogs, utilizing the best of, veterans advocating for cannabis, and then also having a dog, which is invaluable. Week 2 is more like energy and getting yourself, getting rid of the PTSD that forms, and getting over your fears. A lot of like energy work there. So what's Brevard County's week going to be like for week 3?
Well, we'll see. Every week is its own, but
I like that they're all different.
You do not have to be from Brevard County or the Treasure Coast to come with us on week 3. Week 3 is going to start on Tuesday morning, November 4th. You can sign up at FLCAN.org. Right there on the front page, there's a link to the Ambassadors Week. We do have all of the supporting documents that we used. Those are all available now on the website. Team Alex, and Jennifer and Marcia helped make sure that we had all of the documentation there. We've all had follow-ups that we need to get done or are doing. I'm really excited about the momentum we've got. So even if you're not from the Treasure Coast, if week 3 works for you, sign up. If week 4 works for you, sign up. Week 5 works for you, sign up. Better to be there when it works for you. I'll tell you though, they're wearing the shirts. I'm actually wearing the 2026.
You're wearing the future shirt for CAC,
I'm the Jody of the future.
But Jennifer and Alex both have their ambassador shirts on. I saw Jennifer's on TV. Alex, you've got yours on too. They look so great on you. And I just realized that I swapped your sleeves. Somebody has a cannabis sleeve and a website on the wrong sleeve. You know what? It wasn't an accident. Happy accidents. Like Bob Ross.
Be the computer flipping it, right?
At least it wasn't upside down. Okay, listen.
So there is a fabulous There is a fabulous picture with these 3 women with their arms around each other and the backs of the shirt. So it was a real bonding experience, I think, for everybody who came. Life-changing on a lot of different levels.
This was a good group to pair together.
Very empowering week. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening in Florida and around the country, and appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Alex. So that's so good. It's so like uplifting to hear people talk so positively about their experience and how different it was from the week 1 group. Week 1 group, totally different experience, but that's good because everyone keeps saying, be fluid, be flexible, because this is we would love to say it's tailored or curated around you. Actually, it's a hot mess of chaos, and we just organize the pieces that fit. And then you have a wonderful, unique experience. So it's more unique instead of curated now, isn't it? It's a one-of-a-kind experience.
It is curated because as I get a sense for who is in the group.
True.
We move it to who is with the group.
And their strong personality or their strong suits, you pair them apappropriately. That is true.
Good. I'm pretty good at figuring it out. And depending on who's with us, because Sir and Lady Alex had so much experience with us, 3 years coming, and even if it's just a day at a time, they've been up there 3 times. we had like a 5-minute little, huddle. Okay, this is what you're trying to accomplish. These are the tools. We'd already been through the tools. These are the tools you're going to use in this room. Go get them. And I went and sat in another room and watched something else on the Florida channel. So, and let them go and do their thing. She was in charge.
She did
It's like
great. She did so great.
it was amazing. And then the second meeting they went and took, she let Marsha be in charge, and she just kind of acted as a little bit of a backstop.
And
And
Marcia was
so
a new ambassador, first timer, right?
new here, but had done some work on fibromyalgia, no, on endometriosis in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
So she had a little bit of lobbying experience, but never had done anything at the Florida Capitol. So I never had done anything on cannabis.
We're
That's
very
absolutely.
blessed to have such unique perspectives, but also everybody's, experiences and history. It doesn't always have to be from Tallahassee to have added value to people.
No, and we are working with patients. Okay, somebody's not,
Steve, I'm gonna mute Steve. Yeah,
okay.
thanks. Okay. Nothing like technical difficulty. So
I
that's
like,
amazing.
that was perfect.
I know, right? So as far as Florida, we'll start with some Florida news. Because the next ambassador week isn't until November. So you have a little bit of a break, and people can still sign up for Brevard, Treasure Coast, but just sign up if you want to go. It does not matter which area of the state it is going to be representing, because we can make it custom for you. But if you're on the fence, definitely just give it a try, because everyone seems to have such a great experience. It doesn't, I mean, like, it's all different. The veterans experience was different from the Jacksonville experience. And so I can just see it getting better.
It absolutely, and catering, and the weeks will get busier.
Oh, yeah.
So far we haven't been doing testimony because there haven't been bills that are being heard. We're kind of hearing from
That is weird.
committee.
I thought you might give testimony the day of the OMMU hearing, and they did not want to take public testimony, did they?
No, they usually don't. But
Yeah.
I did, I did introduce myself to Bobby Smith, the new director.
And
Being in the room was fabulous. It was good. She's only been there 2 months, so she's really trying to get her feet wet. This
right.
is a huge undertaking. She comes from the regulatory side from law enforcement.
I thought she was a
So
journalist,
no, if
like
she
a
was,
PR person for FDLE.
she was their legislative liaison for FDLE.
Okay.
So she was doing their governmental work
I
with
thought it was very
FDA.
brave and very admirable that she was presenting as the new director the OMMU's annual report, because you are
Pretty good.
essentially the point person for someone else's fiscal year, because she just took over. So that's one of the stories that we wanted to cover for Florida as far as cannabis news go. Wednesday, the House Professions and Programs Subcommittee heard the newly appointed Office of Medical Marijuana Use, or the OMMU, Director Bobby Smith, who Jody was just talking about meeting for the first time. Ms. Smith presented the annual update, which was a 27-page PowerPoint presentation, outlining patient counts, active physician participation, MMTC licensure, and sales by product category. The data presented showed Florida's patient enrollment increasing roughly by 3% year over year, while the number of qualified physicians seems to have dropped. I know it looked more substantial, but the numbers are 2748 to 2434. So yeah, that's a 10% from 23, but then a 3% or 2% from last year. But in essence, it's like a little over 200 and something that decide to not keep being physicians. And we've had fluctuations like this over time, but not, I guess, we've never been this low on physicians.
Well,
Now,
and the market indicators, all of the folks who are out there looking at the cannabis market are very concerned about the fact that we're only growing by 3% year over year. And we
right. Well,
have 22 more licenses about to come on. So news that came out of that hearing, just want to remind everybody, on the 28th and the 29th, we're going to be finalizing all of the rules that are associated with our medical marijuana program. Since 2015, we've been operating under emergency rulemaking powers, and that ends maybe December 31st. So end of next week, no, and 2 weeks from now, we're going to be getting into rulemaking. And I also have a little bit of news. Starting Monday is the administrative hearings here in Tallahassee for the 40 license applicants who did not get licensed. So, the 22 licenses that were awarded last year have been held up in litigation, and that litigation begins Monday. So lots of things happening here in Tallahassee.
Well, the out of the presentation, some notable areas that we heard about were obviously some of the top qualifying conditions being PTSD and chronic non-malignant pain. Unsurprisingly, the sale of smokable flower year over year increases. We are up 15% year over year, and Trulieve maintaining its lead in the market share. However, what drew the most attention from myself and from Rep Salzman, who, if those of you know, has been very vocal about different legislation relating to hemp and cannabis, was the sharp decline in low THC products sales. So between 2020 and 2023, annual low THC product sales averaged around 200,000 milligrams a year. Now, in 2024, it dropped significantly down to 53,000 milligrams. So over 200,000 to 53,000. So when questioned about the decline, Ms. Smith, who is the director of the OMMU, explained that the implementation of our seed to sale, state mandated seed to sale tracking software, BioTrack, likely revealed discrepancies in the self-reporting functions of the MMTCs before BioTrack was implemented. So full integration with BioTrack, before that happened, MMTCs would self-report everything. So that goes to product sales. We didn't see a lot of discrepancies in the individual methods of delivery. The only one we really saw a drop in was the low THC product sales. So once we shifted to BioTrack, it highlighted an accuracy gap in earlier data for those products. So Rep Salzman did bring up that she thought that those numbers looked odd, but she did kind of allude that that was patients abusing products and utilizing high THC, but that was not the case. What that really meant was self-reporting MMTCs were inflating their low THC sales, when in fact they weren't selling that many low THC products.
Right. They were never.
All. Only 15 out of the 22 licenses even sold a low THC product, when it is mandatory by law for everyone to have one available. With Surterra, oddly enough, I never saw that one coming. Surterra in the lead significantly over everybody else.
So one of the things, I don't know that when we were doing self-reporting, it was necessarily tricky dick stuff. But I understand that a one-to-one product might have 450 milligrams of THC and 450 milligrams of low THC or CBD. And so they would do 450 in high THC, 450 in low THC. It was the same one-to-one product. Now with the seed to sale tracking, with BioTrack, you don't get to divide those milligrams up.
I don't think that's what happened at all. I'm going to tell you my theory, because it's happened to me in the past. Without a seed to sale, so most markets that have a medical program or an adult use program have their seed to sale tracking system implemented during implementation of the program. We waited 5 years until we had one because the state kept facing challenges. I think what happened was, because you are self-reporting, there is no eye in the sky to verify the sales. I think they were taking products and they were deducting them from low THC allotment, because that's happened to me before. And it was you could do it because nobody was really checking to make sure. But I did have, I don't know how it happened, but I did have a 1,000 milligram cartridge, so a 1 gram cartridge deducted from my low THC. And I was like, how did that happen? But
because you've not bought low THC, I'm going to assume.
I don't get to assign where it comes out of my registry.
Correct.
The dispensary does. And I've seen things come out of my low THC allotment that were definitely not. But because there's no oversight on those individual purchases, I think that's something where people that didn't have enough allotment
Oh.
were able to keep utilizing the medical program. That's just a theory. Because why would people lie about selling low THC products when they would notice this dip? I think it was the ability to shift things within a registry.
Well, I hope that there is a reckoning coming. There is a requirement in law that they sell a low THC product. And that was part of the discussion we had with Representative Rizzo, who was on that committee.
Yeah.
And Alex Rizzo is the one that said Republicans we love medical marijuana and we want to see patients get their medicine. He had some great questions and we're looking forward to working with them again. This Health and Professions is the one that's going to see the hemp bills if we have them. Any changes that happen are likely to come out of that committee. So that was a pretty good spot for us to be in. I was really glad.
Oh
to
yeah,
have
that
some
was great. I
advocates.
mean, 5 House members engaged with Ms. Smith at the end of her presentation, but
Right.
posing mostly introductory questions really kind of drove the point home that the education piece is really important out in Tallahassee for these lawmakers because they just don't know. Rizzo specifically wanted to know the active patients by age group, broken down and by qualifying conditions, which I thought was very interesting that he wanted those data points. And there were some lawmakers that asked questions that were a little difficult to hear.
He said afterwards that he was really surprised to find out that only 6% was under 25. Because
Yeah,
that's when you think,
lot of
oh,
people-
it's going to be young people it's just people wanting drug seeking.
Yeah, that's all.
And then when he learned that 20% of the program was over 65 years old, that's not drug seekers. Well, it might be drug seekers, I guess, but at 65, if you're seeking drugs, go for it.
They're the coolest 65-year-old like golden years. I did write down the breakdown of the patient numbers because she said it so fast and I was like scribbling down furiously. But I can't find it right now. But yeah, the majority of the qualified patients, she broke it down by like 10-year intervals. And the majority of the patients were, in fact, not adolescent, not young, not teenagers, not in their 20s. It's more established people like
That's right.
ourselves or people
who want access to good quality medicine and want to stay away from the
Yeah.
pharmaceuticals. Yeah.
We do have a lot of work to do in Tallahassee.
Well, and the state of the world is, I think, going to be really helpful for us as they cut down on access to pain management, federal money for pain management. What are people going to do? I think that our bill to expand the right to garden to include creating my own medicine for myself in my own home, I think that is going to be popular as the state sees a reduction in the amount of money that they have to spend. They're going to understand that we're having a reduction in it too. So we don't have enough money to spend. We're very excited about reducing the fees for veterans.
Yep.
There are some great sales out there. There are several different MMTCs. One of them, you can get a mid-grade ounce for less than $100 once a week.
Mids for less than 100, like red tea for less than 50. Like I love it how you say mid-grade.
That's a big deal for people who have been on the street and have maybe not had green cannabis ever.
I mean, yeah,
it's green, but by the way, if your cannabis is not green, then it should be intentionally a different color. But if it's brown, it's old and you're going to sleep. It's going to be great.
Right, exactly. So I wanted to talk to you about 2 just lighter stories, but Maryland, good old Maryland. Yes, Maryland Ocean City Police Department was asking for volunteers to come. This is not a trick. This is not.
I don't usually volunteer for anything with the police. It's just a
Why
rule.
would you? If they were like calling all pot smokers, we are taking volunteers. We will buy you lunch. So they bait us with food. to come smoke pot in our very controlled environment. You have to bring your own, you have to be a qualified whatever, and then be on their driving course to,
Fun.
I mean, it tapped out in like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. They put this thing out there that says, we're the police. We want volunteer pot smokers. We're going to buy you lunch and we're going to put you in a closed course car to see how you drive if you are impaired and what we can look for to better do our jobs. And they tapped out on volunteers immediately. This
No
is,
doubt.
I hope they take video of this activity. They are trying to learn about cannabis impairment behind the wheel, which we know it is a thing, but determining impairment is not very prevalent as far as the science goes. But yeah, it said within 7 hours, they had filled all the available slots. It looks like they were only looking for about 12 to 14 volunteers, and they still have people calling to volunteer.
Oh, I'm sure.
I
don't
might
know
volunteer from
because
Florida.
I'm in. No, I think I think that it is the mission of Florida Cannabis Action Network to get a driving simulator that we can take around the state, right? One of the simulators
They have
and
beer
take it,
goggles that you can wear.
right?
So why can't we put canna glasses?
I wanna smoke
Ganja
my
glasses.
weed, but I consume, and if I'm just consuming a micro dose, I don't have any concern about driving. I really
Yeah.
don't. If I have had a larger dose where I'm actually feeling, euphoria, maybe a little high, I'll sit for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm that high, I got no place I need to go.
Nothing to
So,
that. And your priorities really don't become that serious when you're high. You're like, yeah, I guess I don't need to go get stuff for pasta salad, like do it
oh,
tomorrow. I'll Instacart it.
we'll wait 45 minutes and then we'll go
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah. Like instead, let's order Uber Eats and watch some cartoons. So yeah, I
Been
mean,
there, done that.
it, I think about if I was to get in a vehicle after consuming as a patient, legal in the program, what I would do. I think it would take me like an hour to get out of the driveway because it's kind of curvy and there's a tree and there's rocks. And I'd be like, oh, no, just, I feel like that type of over cautiously environment would be I wouldn't be able to leave the neighborhood.
I think you're probably, you and I were on the spectrum of responsible cannabis consumer. And so it's really tough for me when we're making laws here in Tallahassee or watching what's happening at the federal government, because really responsible cannabis consumers are not the ones that they're building laws for. They're
No.
building laws for the guy who's, smoking an ounce and a half blunt by himself driving down the road. They're concerned about him.
The after school special warnings where the guys are getting high in like the hoopty car and they're playing loud music and they're in the drive-through and it's smoke coming out and then they hit the gas and they hit a girl on her bicycle. That's the
Always.
after school special that I couldn't find a lot of data around how many accidents. There was data on accidents that cannabis was detected, but you can't tell how long ago. And there were other drugs detected as well. So impairment with cannabis specifically, I mean, I think it'd be fun to have lunch bought by the cops and then you get on their little track and just like in a vehicle that you don't own, that isn't insured by your insurance and you get to just go for it. But I think they want you to do active, like really try to drive like you would normally drive, get realistic data.
But that's why I'm like a simulator would work better for me because I don't typically drive on a track.
Right.
I'm not trying to go 75 miles an hour around cones on a
I
regular
think
basis. So
having
I don't know how it works.
distractions come up or like a deer come out, how your response time would be measured would be a valuable info because I feel like that would be something that may be slowed with cannabis use. How I just
Maybe.
think you're going to drive really slow, maybe stop at a stop sign for it to turn green, maybe like go abnormally slow because you're paranoid. But when you have obstacles or accident prevention, that's when they're going to see some.
But you're not going to get that on a closed track. That's
No.
my thing with
Well, maybe they
simulation.
are. Maybe they'll
But,
throw stuff out there and they'll have to avoid it.
That's a bad idea because we're
Yeah,
gonna
it's a
hit
pretty
it.
bad idea.
Duh.
This is why we don't run the show. So I don't know.
Yeah, fascinating. All right. Well, I'm not over the idea of getting a simulator and going around the state of Florida and being like, get high with me and let's drive.
Well, if they produce
Driving was
data
crazy.
and results there that are important or impactful, then other markets will start to follow suit as far as at least they're trying to learn and they're offering free lunch because we love free food. The last
Cannabis
part,
smokers and free food. Yeah, it's
well,
a
I
win.
mean,
No
they did
wonder they have
offer
so many
lunch.
people.
They didn't have to offer lunch, but they did. And I feel like that's what kind of lit the fire under some of these volunteers.
Sure,
They're like, wait,
sure.
I get to smoke weed next to a cop legally, and they're gonna feed me and give me a car to play with. Like, I hope they take it seriously. So our
So
last,
Sir
go ahead.
Alex says, I feel like even if my reaction time reduces slightly, they're still faster than someone else's at baseline.
Okay.
So that no, and that's kind of the way I feel about it too. My reaction might be lowered just a little bit, but again, what's baseline? And what is the average person when somebody hits? I've never hit a deer,
I've hit
and
3.
so I wonder, I must be higher than you.
No,
Uh,
it was up in Atlanta, and one hit me, and then I
see?
hit 2 at one time 3 months later. So they were
Oh, yeah.
everywhere. And I was sober as a church mouse. Like I was really young and I was not smoking weed. I was coming home from work. So
Okay.
they come out and they don't like, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, and they don't
Rest in
ask you if
peace.
they can cross, and there's no deer. They don't cross at the deer crosswalks or anything. They're
They
just
were
rude.
building out in like different neighborhoods, and it was just so much build out that they had nowhere to go. And so they would just go into the roads and they were everywhere. But I digress.
The Johnsons are cracking me up in the message board,
What
just
are
so
they
you know.
saying?
She said the second one was just payback for the first one. The one took you out. You take two. You took them my ads. I take out two of yours.
The
No?
funniest part was when the cop showed up. I was like hysterical. And the cop's like, I'm sorry, but I don't see a deer anywhere. And I was like, well, that's because these guys pulled up after me and dragged it off the road and put it into their pickup truck before you got here. And so he goes, but I don't have proof you hit a deer. I was like, what about the hair and blood stuck in my bumper? Because I didn't do this to myself. I didn't hit somebody. Something that had fur was here. And he's like, yeah, I guess so. That's fine. And then the other 2, they actually ran off and I think they died in the tree somewhere.
So somebody showed up after
They
the deer
pulled it
hit
off.
you
It's
and
good
took you.
meat. It's good meat. It was a group of construction worker guys, and there was nobody on the first time. There was nobody on that road, and so they dragged it off. They put it in the truck, and they're gonna go carve it up. I mean, it's like deer season without having to go hunt and
Uh,
do that. Like I just killed them
Yeah.
dinner.
I think that there's jokes about roadkill for a reason, and that we should really get into that. What else you got for us this week, Cynthia?
The last of our stories for today, because the news is there's always something going on, but nothing that our listeners really need to be focused on until we have big stuff. But a senior White House official recently decided to weigh in on the rescheduling conversation, much like other people have done. We've seen Roger Stone weigh in. We've seen the drug czar kind of teeter-totter with her takesies backsies, right?
Backsies, yeah.
We haven't
Yeah.
seen Trump actually issue a statement since August where he said a couple of weeks and then it's been a couple of months. So White House
Put out the
officials,
nice little endocannabinoid system video, and
right,
CBD be good.
which I felt like was kind of like, here, have a taste and get off my back, take a little and have fun with that for a couple weeks. But there's also been industry professionals that have direct lines, like Kim Rivers from Trulieve has talked about having a direct line to the White House. But so it's an unnamed senior official drew a parallel between the federal effort to reschedule marijuana and the evolution of public opinion on same-sex marriage, arguing that, like marriage equality, cannabis reform has steadily gained bipartisan support as Americans have become more comfortable with the issue. The official suggested that the growing acceptance makes the administration's rescheduling initiative not only sound policy, but good politics.
Oh,
So
all right.
I
What
was
do you
like,
got?
how can I exploit this statement for the show? And I was like, I think a
How'd you
good
do?
t-shirt idea is in the works. So I
What do you
made
got?
legalize gay marijuana.
Nice.
I
Dun,
feel
dun,
like it's really going to
dun.
take off. Now, I cannot take full credit for this because this has been around far before me, but now this is definitely a program I think we should do. I
Okay.
love the LGBTQ plus community with conviction, and I love the cannabis community. And if we can find a way to get lawmakers to be more open to same-sex marriage and also legalizing cannabis, well, a lot of my close family friends, all of us are going to be so happy because that's two birds with one giant stone. And we'll paint it rainbow and cover it in glitter. Yes. So I just
About
think
being gay and
it's a
happy
good
and you
campaign
be
to
anything
start.
you want to be. All
Be
right.
whatever you want to be,
And
love what you want to love, and smoke what you want to smoke.
amen, sister. I want one of those for our favorite lawmaker, Carlos Smith. I think he would appreciate us legalizing gay marijuana. So
Just give me a shirt
I
size.
think
I'll make a collection. We will give them away. We are not going to exploit or make money off of this. This will be a campaign that, you know, everybody has a say and everybody gets a chance. So are you ready
that's
for the
pretty
fun fact
fantastic.
answer? Do we have any
I think
guesses?
I have so
No. Steve says no.
so Chernobyl?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that it?
That's
All
the
right.
answer. So, what disaster used cannabis to save the day? The 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster had a bunch of exclusion zone soil that was contaminated with three different isotopes, plutonium, cesium-137, etc. To restore the land, they knew that cannabis, because it is a phytoremediator, sorry, it will take up dangerous substances like lead and cadmium from the soil and it will hold on to it, essentially purifying the soil of contamination. So scientists knew the phytoremediation would get the toxins out of the earth. The hemp roots grew deep and fast, which is what they were looking for, reaching the toxic layers that other plants could not. And then it absorbed all the contaminants. They took the plants out and disposed of them just like other nuclear waste. They were hemp plants that were meant for industrial hemp. They did not turn it into something after that. They actually just disposed of it. And this happened in 1990, and they still do it to this day to clean up some, both man-made, like your question was it man-made or natural? Well, naturally, man
Yes.
made a mistake. And
Well,
cannabis cleaned it up.
you know, this is a great time to shout out to our friends at Hemp for Water,
Yep.
who have really done a fabulous job over the last couple decades educating about cannabis, hemp as a remediator, both in the ground and in the water. So
Mhm.
that's pretty fabulous. I am thrilled to know that that was the cannabis saved the day again. I'm like, I gotta tell you, at the end of the day, the other day we were so exhausted. I'm like, cannabis saved the day. But you know, my life is not the disaster that you are referring to in this case,
No,
but it has been known to save the day.
we'll keep working.
Excellent.
We'll keep
All
working.
right. And we'll see you next week at 4:20 on Friday with more elevated intel.
Yep.
So thank you very much, Cynthia Brewer, and thank you very much to our guests today, Sir and Lady Alex and Jennifer Dean from the
Mhm.
Jacksonville area, and of course our Steve, also from Jacksonville. So you know, Brevard and Jacksonville are in the house tonight.
East Coast.
Our producer Steve for making things happen on the backside. And we will look forward to seeing all of you next week. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Florida Cannabis Action Network, or FLCAN, has been fighting for cannabis rights in Florida for over 25 years. We're the grassroots voice pushing back against outdated laws and demanding science-based, sensible cannabis policy. From patients to veterans, business owners to everyday Floridians, we unite passionate advocates who won't settle for less than freedom. Together, as friends, we work with a purpose. Join us. Be a part of a 27-year movement to help legalize the plant.